Good morning. I'm here with the professor of philosophy, Daniel Duarte, and we're going to talk about the purpose of life. For start, I have a philosophical question that is, do we have a purpose in life? My answer is that we don't have a clear purpose in life. We don't serve neither a purpose for a God or we have a written script for our life. My answer is that there isn't a real answer for this. The purpose of life is given by each person's perspective, and it's very complex because it's based on a person's life and experience. Now I'm gonna pass the word to the professor to see his opinion.
Well, it's a very deep question. Um, the answer I think about the purpose of life is related with the point of view you're talking about. Okay? If you talk, for example, about religion, in every single religion, you are going to see that they think that, yes, indeed, life has a final ending, a purpose. My personal opinion is that, yes, indeed, we need to find one. But it is difficult to say that someone or something has given us that purpose of life. What to do, okay? How to live a life, for example. To be honest, we don't have those answers. If we had those answers, living a life could be very simple, very easy. Just imagine just to have like the steps to follow. How to live a life, follow these steps, okay? But we don't have, in some moment in history of humanity, we used to have those advices, those steps to follow. And those advices were given mainly by religion. You should live a life like this. Philosophy for many years also tried to give those advices. You should live a good life like this. Follow the following steps, okay? But now, to be honest, in the 21st century, I don't see that the religion, the church, even the philosophy are strong enough to give those advices, and that humanity, 100% of humanity, follow those advices. We are so different, so plural, so different in the interest we have that I don't see as someone or something giving those rules and how to live a life. I think this is a personal question, of course, based on morality. I think we need to find a personal morality. We need to find a code to follow. But at the end of the day, what is the purpose in life, of your life? I think it's a very personal question, a very personal decision. And I think that I don't have a influence on the answer of other person. To be honest, this is the most personal decision ever that someone is going to take. But of course, and to finish, of course, we need to find that the purpose that we have in life, the decisions that we take, always respect, for example, the law of the city, for example, and respect also the interest of the others. If my purpose in life goes against your purpose, if my decisions goes against your decisions, if my actions affect directly your actions, we have a problem in there. I think my purpose in life is just free, but I need to think also about the others and the rest of the society.
So, as you already said, there isn't an answer to this question. But do you think we have to follow our purpose based on a moral compass or a society compass, to call it that way, to serve a purpose in a way that help us all?
Okay, let's remember that we are in the middle, inside of a society. Okay, we're not living alone. We're not living in the desert. We're living inside of one society. Okay, and that society has some codes. or behavior, for example, laws, for example, and so on. But also inside of the society, you are able to find a lot of freedom. Okay. I think we should respect the codes of society, the laws, for example, but try to find the highest degree of independence, the highest degree of freedom that we are able to find in the middle of the society. Okay. Just try to follow the basic principles, not to destroy society. And when we see something that is unfair in the middle of the society, try to change it. But let's remember that we live inside of the society. Okay. So my purpose of life is inside of the society. I'm going to find happiness inside of the society. I'm going to be a human being inside of the society. Okay. Many persons think that we should escape from society because it is impossible to find, for example, freedom and happiness inside of the society. I think the opposite. I think that happiness and freedom is only possible inside of the society. Why? Because happiness and freedom is only possible with the others, with the other human beings, with the other citizens. Happiness and freedom is not something for myself. It's something that I'm going to live. It's something that I'm going to experience with the rest of the population, with the rest of the citizens inside of the society. Okay, but let's try to find the highest degree of freedom inside of the society. Okay.
So, based on what you already state, would you discard the statement that says that we have a fixed destiny, meaning that our life is already written?
Well, I think nobody likes that statement. Okay. We have this fantasy, this fiction that we are free because we want to be free. And we pretend that we're free. I think that is the biggest goal of every single human being, freedom. To be honest, I don't have an answer if my destiny is already fixed. Okay, because it's a discussion about freedom and about determinism. But what I think is, when I live inside of the society, I need to recognize some codes. Mm-hmm. So I don't have the biggest degree of freedom that I could take, for example, living alone in the desert. When living inside of the society, when living in the middle of the society, we are not 100% free. And at the same time, when we follow some rules, we are able to have freedom, but not as individuals only, but also as society only, also as community. I don't have the answer about the destiny, if we are free to choose the destiny, or if the destiny is fixed. But what I think is that we love the idea of being free, and we hate the idea. We are very afraid of this idea that the destiny is fixed. But I think nobody can answer that question.
So, you think that freedom and other like free thoughts of a person can be used as a purpose to fulfill our existence or to create a meaning to our lives?
Yeah, yeah. I think that it is important to create a meaning in life. If you don't have it, it's important to create it. Okay. If you don't know it, it's important to create a new one. Okay. And freedom, yes, indeed. I think it's the most beautiful word that I know. And yes, if we don't have a meaning for your life, go and try to find one. Okay.
Okay. So, as Albert Camus once says, he said that we don't have time to be completely ourselves, but we have time to be free and to be happy. Do you think that happiness is a goal we have to reach in this life, or is just a glance of moments that we experience throughout all our life?
That is a beautiful question, I think. I think, yes, we need to be happy. But let's to discuss and let's try to think about what is the conception of happiness we have. Okay. For some people, it is possible to find happiness even in the middle of the suffering. in the middle of the pain. Okay. For some people, happiness is possible in books, in philosophy, in reflection. Some persons think that happiness is only possible when you have money, for example, when you have fame, when you find gold, and so on. The phrase of Camus, and the whole philosophy of Camus is important because he said that in spite of the suffering, in spite of the thought of the existence, in spite of that, it is still possible to be happy. Mm-hmm. And I agree with that position.
Okay, to conclude the interview, uh, so based on what you already state, we don't have an answer to what is life. Well, everybody has a different answer on this.
Yeah.
So, would you decline the statements that some religions place on people that are saying that we are born knowing a purpose? Like, for example, when they say, "Oh, you're very good at painting. You were born to paint." And do you think that this statement uh, slave in a way our mind in a certain purpose that maybe isn't the one for us?
Yes, in a way, I do believe that we're free in a lot of different realms of the existence. I like this idea of religion, and I respect the idea of the religion. But I think that at the end of the day, who is religion? Who are you to determine what is the final goal? What should be the happiness of the other person? Um, I don't believe in a religion or an institution who tries to impose a model of how to live life. Okay, if you're a part of a religion, a member of a political party, a part of a movement, political, religious movement that tries to impose on society, on individuals, a final end, I don't like that ideology. I don't like that religion. I don't like that movement. Okay, I think any religion should not and never impose final goals and final objectives of life. I think the individual inside of the society, respecting the laws and respecting the other citizens, but every single individual is the only one who is going to say, what is my goal in life? What is the purpose of my life? Okay. And maybe we're not happy, not nor free enough, but let's try to find the more freedom we're able to find, the more places where we're able to find freedom. Uh, uh, yeah.
And by the other side of the coin, going to the other extreme, do you think that the concept of the absurd is a valid concept, or is just a way to say, you know what, we will never find a answer to these questions. Let's just live happily and see what happens? Or
Yeah, I think it is a valid concept, and let's try to understand that this concept had a value on the 19th century because of the historical conditions of the 19th century. For some people, life is meaningless, um, but I understand this desire of the human beings, this desire of finding what is the purpose of life. I think it's impossible to know it, but I understand this desire, very strong desire. I think that defines what is a human being. We try to know, we try to realize what is the purpose of life. We try to realize what is the purpose of existence. We discuss about God, for example. We discuss about the final ends. Maybe we won't find an answer, but I think what defines humanity is just this desire of trying to know what is the final end, what is the purpose. Maybe you don't find the answer, maybe it's impossible to answer, but that desire defines what is a human being, I think. Okay. The most important characteristic of a human being is that human being is always asking and trying to find meanings. Okay.
okay, thank you very much for your time and your words.
Okay. Have a nice day, Felix.